The Saturday action continues here on the campus of Lane Community College. Men's game just about ready to get underway between the Lane Titans and the Clark Penguins. Saul Gavon alongside Jonah Bruneau once again. Jonah just finished up the women's game. Now we're getting ready to start the men's game. Both these teams are coming off of losses right now, kind of bottom of the standings in conference, but these teams kind of match up pretty well in terms of scoring-wise, pretty good defense size as well. I think we can expect a pretty good matchup today.
Yeah, and Lane's been in a lot of closely contested games throughout this year, and I think you could see something very similar to this today as well. Clark, 7-16 on the year. They have struggled, but Lane has struggled as well throughout the year. I think these two teams match up pretty evenly. I think Lane has a little bit of an advantage over Clark.
Yeah. We'll give the starting lineups for both teams, starting with the Titans. Javon Blackmore, Silas Wright, Jacob Labonte, Jacob Axmaker, and Micah Garrett are the five out there, the typical five that Lane sees. Tip-off is won by the Penguins. Terrell Moore Jr., Brennan Byer, Samuel Ebel Guam, Kenan Coleman, Keegan Phillips are the five out there for the Penguins. There's down low to Keegan Phillips, but it's going to be a quick turnover for the Penguins to start this one.
Keegan Phillips, leading scorer for the Penguins on the year, just over 16 points per game.
Now Javon Blackmore, bounce pass to Jacob Labonte. Now back to Blackmore. Such an athletic guy. Here's a quick three-point attempt from Axmaker. Yes! Jacob Axmaker, the quick three to get the scoring underway in this one.
Yep, one of the Lane sharpshooters in Axmaker getting the scoring opened up.
Now here's Clark trying to answer the three, and another turnover for the Penguins. Kenan Coleman was trying to dish it inside.
Yeah, a little confusion. Bonagom was trying to cut inside, and Coleman wanted him to stay outside, and the errant pass goes out of bounds. Yeah, two quick turnovers for Clark. It's absolutely the last thing you ever want in your first two possessions of a game is to turn it over both times.
There's Blackmore at the top of the key looking to set something up. Now Micah Garrett, the leading scorer of the Titans, and such a dominant player in the conference this year. And he'll show you why. Now Silas Wright back to Blackmore. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Micah Garrett deep from three. Now Blackmore, take a three-point attempt. That one's good. Back-to-back three-pointers for Lane to start this one.
Yep, capitalizing off those Clark turnovers, and already the Penguins in a bit of a hole.
There's Kenan Coleman working against Labonte. Now down low, Phillips working in the post against Wright, and he wins the battle, able to get the post-up shot to go in.
Yep, and there's, again, their leading scorer this season, Keegan Phillips. Look for him to be the key for the Penguins today.
6-2 in the first 2 minutes of the game. Lane came out swinging. Here's a turnover from Silas Wright. He was trying to get it down low to Labonte, but it got stolen away by the Penguins. Clark looking to capitalize. Here's a jump shot from Byer, and that one goes in. 6-4. Clark coming back.
Yep, good answer now from Clark after those opening turnovers. Good bucket there from Phillips, and then Bayer to follow it up.
Micah Garrett, mid-range jumper. That one's good. So Garrett quick to answer Bayer's jump shot on the other end. Now here's Bonagwam driving in, but blocked by Blackmore, pushing it up ahead. He's only got one Penguin. A little bounce pass behind him to Axmaker. Now gets it down low to Labonte for the easy lay-in.
Yep, good trail by Labonte there. Got in great positioning in the paint.
Both teams scoring pretty quickly. Already 14 combined points, and we're only 3 minutes into this one. Moore Jr. driving in. Another block by Javon Blackmore. He's been all over the court. And now here's a three-pointer from Axmaker. That one no good. Micah Garrett grabbing the rebound, putting it back up, and he gets fouled on the way up. He'll go to the line and shoot for two.
Yeah, physical inside. Micah Garrett got up for that rebound and able to draw the foul.
But how about Javon Blackmore, though? Back-to-back blocks on back-to-back possessions.
Defense. Great defense by Blackmore, hitting the three as well on the other end of the court.
And
lost a grip there and almost missed The iron.
Garrett not able to hit his first free throw. Able to make the second one, though. Extend Lane's lead to 7. Moore Jr. bringing it up the court for the Penguins. Ron Blackmore on defense. Now gets it to Brennan Bear at the top of the key.
Had a Bonneguam wide open inside, missed him.
Bear looking for someone, finds Keegan Phillips. Phillips driving inside, now got double team. Moore Jr. on the wing, drives inside. That one no good, grabbed his own miss and puts it back in for the second chance point.
Yeah, grabbed his own miss, you mentioned it, and took it away from 2 Titan defenders by himself.
Now LeBounty, top of the key, 3-point attempt. A little bit of hesitation there from Axemaker. He swings it over to LeBounty. And now here's a mid-range jumper from Silas Wright that's in.
Some solid shooting so far for Lane in the opening 4 minutes.
And now here's Moore Jr. driving inside. He kicks it out, and it's good. 3-pointer is good from Keenan Coleman.
Yeah, and warm-ups we were watching, Saul. Clark was struggling.
Axemaker with a 3-pointer, no good. And Coleman will chase that one down, prevent it from going out of bounds.
Kind of a sloppy warm-up from Clark from their shooting-wise, but to start this game, putting up points pretty well.
Not sloppy there as Ibanaguam gets the hard-fought lay-in. 13-11. Lane started this game on fire, and Clark storms back a little bit, and now we're going to get a whistle and a foul.
It looks like
I'm going to say it's going to call him Moore Jr.
Saul, one of your favorites, Isaiah Wallace, checking in.
You know he's my favorite, Jonah.
So fun to watch offensively.
Wallace and Izzy Golden checking into the game for the first time. We know that this is a committee team. Here's a 3-pointer from Micah Garrett. That went off the side of the rim. Here comes Bear. Now Keenan Coleman, and they're going to say he went out of bounds. His back foot was right there.
On the sideline.
Just the second turnover for Clark in this one, actually third turnover.
Good combination on the court right now for Lane with Blackmore, Garrett, and Wallace. A lot of speed between those 3.
A lot of speed and a lot of guys who can shoot. Here's a 3 from Izzy Golden. That one no good. Isaiah Wallace grabs the rebound and puts it back.
Well, it was kind of like a look what I found, because Clark had it inside. I believe it was Bayer had it in his hands and then lost it, and the ball fell right into Isaiah Wallace.
There's Bayer driving inside, working against 3 Titans, and wins the battle to get the and one.
Yep. Good take by Bayer right there. Going to get a timeout, I believe.
So a timeout on the floor, 14:48 left to play in the first half, but both teams, the shooting has just been unbelievable. It seemed like Lane to start this one, they couldn't miss anything, and now Clark, they're going on a bit of a run before the timeout.
Yeah, really, and a lot of good ball movement by Clark and Lane as well. Really both teams playing pretty solid on offense. Again, we mentioned Clark, a couple turnovers to start the game, but they really cleaned that up pretty quickly now and have gotten right back in it. Just a 2-point deficit.
Yeah, and Lane's taking advantage of the turnovers, even though there haven't been that many by Clark. 8 points off turnovers, so they're taking full advantage of the opportunities that they are given. But the defense has been pretty good, even though Clark is only down by 2 and has scored 13 points. The blocks, especially by Javon Blackmore, I think have really been key and set up opportunities on the other end.
And you look at it, Blackmore 3, Axemaker 3, Micah Garrett's got 3 points to him. Wright, LeBounty, Wallace, all in the scoring category. 15 points on the board, but you got a good handful of players for Lane contributing early.
Yeah, we know that this is a roster full of guys that like to shoot the ball. Pretty much you can put a number of these guys pretty much in any position, and they'll play it well. I mean, obviously we see Axemaker and LeBounty as well as Silas Wright kind of in that forward center position, but you might even be able to throw like Javon Blackmore, Isaiah Wallace with the speed and agility that they have. It's now Bayer at the free throw line trying to convert on his 3-point play and does. And it's now 15-14. Clark only down by 1. Blackmore to bring it up, bounce past Izzy Golden, right back to Blackmore. On the far corner, waiting for the screen with Silas Wright. Now Micah Garrett on the other side of the court. Izzy Golden, Blackmore top of the key, driving inside, gonna pull from left of the free throw line. No good, Bayer grabs the board. He'll push it ahead for Clark. Now here's Coleman in the corner, Moore Jr. Bayer, now Moore Jr., Ibanaguam. Now here's Keegan Phillips driving inside, working against Silas Wright. Ultimately win the battle, trying to put it up on the second chance and not able to get it to go. They're going to call a foul against Ibanaguam.
Yep. That was a wide open second chance for Phillips to put it back in and couldn't convert. Junior Ledgy checking in for Lane for the first time today.
Ledgy and Axemaker checking in for the Titans. Micah Garrett and Blackmore take a seat. Isaiah Wallace to bring it up for the Titans. He's a sharpshooter on this team, one of the best shooters in all of conference. See if Lane can get him going. Silas Wright working in the post outside of Axemaker. Izzy Golden now corner. Ledgy, 3-point, no good. Ibanaguam right there to corral it. Ibanaguam pushing up the court, trying to get one to go in, no good. Tipped around, Ledgy comes away with it, and Lane will get the ball back.
Seen Lane not going too quick here, kind of a steady tempo to start.
Isaiah Wallace making a few moves, now swings it over to Izzy Golden. There's a baseline jumper from Silas Wright to get it to go.
Yeah, he had a nice pick and roll, and he was open, but Wallace kind of missed him, but it got the ball to Wright eventually, and a good jumper.
Now here's Bayer going pretty quick against Isaiah Wallace. Going to kick it out, though, to Ibanaguam, and then over to Moore Jr. Now Moore Jr. in the court. Bayer, top of the key, driving in against Wallace. Thought about taking it, instead kicked it to Moore Jr. Working against Ledgy. 2 seconds on the shot clock, puts it up and puts it in.
Good work by Moore. The shot clock winding down, had to get it off, and was able to actually get a pretty good take out of that.
Now back to a 1-point deficit for Lane, or so for Clark. Izzy Golden, top of the key, driving in, dishes it outside. Ledgy, second 3-point attempt. That one doesn't fall. Silas Wright grabs the missed board, but it gets stolen by Clark. Here's Bayer driving in, trying to go coast to coast after the steal. No good. Ledgy grabs the board.
Yep, good defense by Ledgy, using his height advantage over Bayer, getting that wingspan up.
Now Ledgy, top of the key, over to Axemaker. Now Isaiah Wallace, 3-point attempt from the left wing. Yes! Isaiah Wallace, first 3-point attempt goes in.
There's his specialty coming to life. Able to shoot that 3-ball so well.
So Clark down by 4. Moore Jr. on the other side of the court, trying to get it down low to Phillips. Misses that one. Lane pushing it ahead. Isaiah Wallace, little spin move. Kicks it to Izzy Golden, and now back to Wallace as they'll reset.
I think Phillips was trying to get a pass deflection off of a Lane Titan and get it to go out of bounds, but good hesitation, or a good awareness, excuse me, by Silas Wright.
Lane swinging around. Silas Wright able to get the fadeaway post up to go in. 22-16, Titans lead. 11:06 left to play in the first half. Moore Jr. in the post, working against Isaiah Wallace, and gets fouled on the way up. Isaiah Wallace didn't really like that call, but Moore Jr. to the line.
Coach Edwards didn't like it, jumped right out of his seat, and has a few words to say. Definitely a more a kind conversation with the referee.
Moore Jr. is first trip to the line tonight, second overall for the Penguins. Makes the first free throw. Jacob Labonte back into the game for Silas Wright.
It's funny when pregame, Saul, when players and coaches will introduce themselves to the referees, make a nice introduction.
A little nice introduction.
Once the game gets going, it's
a whole new story.
We're yelling at you now. We're in your face. We're upset with you.
It can be a whole new story. Caleb Swarth out for the Penguins, checks in as well for the first time in this game. Axemaker, top of the key, over to Ledgy. Now in the corner, Izzy Golden gets the screen from Ledgy, trying to look for something on inside. Here's a deep 3-pointer from Axemaker, no good, and it gets tipped away. The refs are going to say that it went out of bounds by the Penguins, so it'll stay with Lane. But a deep three-pointer from Axmaker.
Well, we're accustomed to seeing that from Axmaker. He'll shoot the ball from anywhere. He'll shoot it from the logo. I mean, contested threes. He's not afraid to pull the trigger.
Axmaker to inbound. High pass over to Labounty. Now Leggy back to Labounty. Now here's a three-point attempt from Leggy. That one goes in. Yeah, 2 3-point attempts before this. Couldn't get him to go, but able to get the third one to fall.
He's had an increasing numbers of court time in this season between now and the start of the year.
A three-point attempt from Bayer, no good, but Clark grabs the offensive rebound. Here's a three-pointer attempt from Swathart. That one doesn't go. Lane gets the rebound.
The amount of playing time, I should say, for Leggy.
Axmaker driving in. Now Izzy Golden in the corner, got double teamed for a second. Axmaker at the point. Now Leggy, three-point attempt. That one no good. A lot of guys were trying to follow that one, but Clark ends up coming away with it. Keenan Coleman drives in, puts up a floater, no good. Isaiah Wallace grabs the miss. Kicks over to Izzy Golden in the corner. Back to Golden. Down low, trying to find Labounty, and they're going to say it went off Labounty. Wasn't sure about that one. Kind of looked at the ref with a funny look.
But it's contested by Caleb Swathart, and I guess he says it's off Labounty, so it's going to be Clark Ball with the timeout.
Clark Ball after the timeout. 25-17. Lane still leads. Now more action coming your way here on the other side of this break on the Lane Streaming Network. Lane up by 8, coming out of the timeout. Clark to start with it. Bo Sweat will bring it up for the Penguins. Working on Izzy Golden, now switches over to Labounty. Coleman in the corner, Sweat driving in, spin move down the lane. Doesn't get it to fall, but a nice move either way. Micah Garrett grabs the board.
There's a good spin move by Sweat on the take there, just a little too weak on the finger roll.
Isaiah Wallace at the top of the key, trying to set up a play for Lane. Called off the screen, now swings it over to Labounty. Hands it off to Micah Garrett, top of the key. Yes! Micah Garrett gets his scoring not going.
Largest lead of the game here in the first half for Lane. 11-point differential.
Now Bayer, a little bit of a mismatch. Working on Labounty. Coleman looking for someone, now finds Moore Jr. Actually, no, that's Ibanaguam in the corner. Now Bayer driving inside, almost triple team for a sec, and Leggy touched it last. So it'll stay on this side with the Penguins.
You're gonna have to go quick here, just 5 seconds on the shot clock. Get an inbound and a quick, maybe screen to create separation and a quick shot.
Moore Jr. back into the game for the Penguins. He will be the one to inbound.
Bears off.
Moore trying to find someone, and they're going to call a foul against Micah Garrett. Might have been a little bit too much contact there.
And it resets the shot clock to 20. So now plenty of time for Clark.
Moore Jr. inbound it. Gets out to Keegan Phillips, and now to Caleb Swarthart. In the corner, Coleman. Driving inside. Bounce pass, down low to Phillips. Phillips working against Labounty. Spins around, doesn't win that one. Micah Garrett there to haul it in. 8 minutes left to play in the first half. Lane up 28-17, looking to extend their lead. Here's Micah Garrett, who was trying to do a cross-court pass to Isaiah Wallace, and they're going to charge Wallace with a foul here.
Good ball hawk eye right there by Clark, number 14, Keenan Coleman.
Yeah, Coleman, I mean, he would have had a clear lane all the way if Wallace didn't commit the foul. The 4th foul of the game for Lane. Moore Jr. outside to Coleman. Now down low, Keegan Phillips in the post, double teamed. Outside, Moore Jr., top of the key, it goes.
It's the second three of the game for the Penguins, but it gets them back in to a single-digit deficit.
Clark trying to not let Lane run away with this one, especially in the first half. Another three-point attempt from Ledgy. That one is good. Junior Ledgy, he's not known for being a scorer, but he's had some good opportunities in this one.
Well, we've called multiple games, Saul, and his shooting has gotten better and better.
And a three-point attempt from Coleman is good to answer that one right back. Back what you were saying, Jonah, about Ledgy.
Just it's gotten better as the season's gone on, and like I said earlier, the amount of playing time he's gotten has increased as well since the opening games.
Javon Blackmore thought about taking that one from the top of the key, decided not to. Now down low is LeBounty working in the post. He'll take it himself, trying to win the battle against Moore Jr., and he wins that one. The length of LeBounty plays such a big factor in the post. He will win that battle probably about 8 out of 10 times. Now Phillips against LeBounty. He's working in the post, trying to win that battle, and he wins it. We're definitely going to see that a lot tonight. Phillips and LeBounty in the paint.
Well, Phillips kind of been a rocky first half for him inside the paint, but that time gets it over LeBounty.
Isaiah Wallace, three-point attempt, yes. I keep saying to Jonah, Isaiah Wallace, he is a sharpshooter along with Axemaker.
A couple daggers on both ends of the court in the last 90 seconds.
Now Bo Sweat going to kick it out to Coleman. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Coleman working against, and again, he was working against Javon Blackmore, but he traveled there. So it'll be a turnover against the Penguins. Silas Wright coming to the game. LeBounty taking a seat.
It's the 6th turnover given up by Clark so far.
They cleaned it up for a little bit, but now these last few possessions gotten a little sloppy with it. Blackmore right to the free throw line. Now to Isaiah Wallace. Junior Ledgy in the corner. Now Wallace hands it off to Garrett. Garrett driving inside, finds Ledgy. Far corner. That one doesn't go. Ledgy trying to grab the miss as Coleman tipped it out and was able to get to Moore Jr. Clark pushing it ahead. Moore Jr. down low, double team, trying to kick it out, finds Bo Sweat. And now Moore Jr. will just reset. Grab the screen, three-point attempt on the way from Coleman. No good. Silas Wright with the easy board. Five minutes left in this first half. Javon Blackmore, uncontested, yes. I don't know what happened there. Nobody was guarding him.
Well, he slowly walked into the Silas Wright screen, and there was confusion between Sweat and Phillips. And they just let Blackmore all by himself.
Phillips driving inside and is able to win the battle against the double team.
Couldn't get around Silas Wright. Got some size, a little bit of a size advantage, height advantage on Phillips.
Only 15 minutes played in this game, and Lane has already made 8 three-pointers. They're definitely creating themselves good opportunities. Isaiah Wallace making a move against Sweat, trying to drive inside. A little fadeaway from Wallace. That one doesn't go off the front iron. Sweat grabs the rebound.
Didn't look like he had a full handle on that.
Now Ibonagwam, little Euro step inside. And now it's back to a 10-point deficit for Clark.
Yeah, and even though Lane's been able to be out front for most of this game, Clark's still doing a good job hanging around, not letting it get too far out of hand. But Blackmore on that tape.
Able to get it to go. Been raving about him all season. Such an athletic guy. And now Terrell Moore Jr.
Clark's been able to answer on most possessions and maintaining this deficit to a manageable margin.
And we know the momentum can change in any game, in any time. So keeping your opponent close is very key, trying to win the game. Now Leggy was alone for a second, and now they're going to call a foul, offensive foul, against Isaiah Wallace. Might have been the screen there. Didn't agree with that one.
Timeout.
So a timeout on the floor. Lane 41, Clark 31. Penguins keeping in distance, but Lane trying to extend their lead. 3:26 left to play when we return on the Lane Streaming Network. Penguins to inbound, coming out of the timeout. Moore Jr. to bring it up. 3:18 left to play in the first half. And now here's Phillips working down low, trying to turn around, put a shot up. That one no good. Silas right there to haul it in. Let's see if Lane can continue up their high 3 percentage. Made 8 3-pointers in this game so far, and it's really been the reason that they're up ahead big. Micah Garrett pulling up, mid-range jumper, good. That's the other reason, too, that they're leading. Micah Garrett being able to hit shots like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Leading scorer for Lane, and so far today, Micah Garrett, 8 points to his name.
Now Coleman inside against Wright.
Wow.
He gets fouled on the way up.
That was almost from his knees, that scoop and score right there underneath Silas Wright.
I mean, you talk about finger roll above the head. That one was below the knees, like you said, and he's still able to go. So a chance at a 3-point play coming up for Coleman.
Gets it.
Able to convert. It's down to a 9-point Lane lead. All the starters back out there, except for Izzy Golden. Takes a 3-pointer there. Fell down after the attempt. Was looking for the offensive foul, or just a foul, but couldn't get it. Bo Sweat pushing it up. Now Coleman inside, a little fade, and they're going to call a travel on him. Took too many steps.
Great defense by Izzy Golden, getting in his face, got the hands up, and really stood his ground on Coleman and able to draw the travel.
Micah Garrett takes a seat. Axemaker back into the ball game. Approaching the 2-minute mark of the first half. Lane's been shooting the ball really well. They've also been spreading it out really well. Here's a tipped away by Bayer. Now Sweat pushing it ahead. Finds Ebo Guam. And now down low to Phillips. And Phillips
gets the and-one.
Picks up the foul and gets the and-one.
Great patience by Phillips. Now a chance for Clark to get it back to a 2-possession game.
Phillips not able to turn. Here's a putback shot by Ibanaguam, but wasn't able to go. Labonte came away with it. Blackmore bringing it up. Working against Moore Jr. Thought about taking a shot. Instead, dishes over to Izzy Golden in the corner. Now back to Blackmore. Axemaker on the opposite side of the court. Bounce pass down low to Jacob Labonte. Outside, Izzy Golden. Now in the corner, Silas Wright. That one no good. Phillips grabs the board. Bonneguam bringing it up. He's at the top of the key, working against Labounty. Bonneguam drives in and gets it to go.
Clark starting to come alive here toward the end of the half, putting some pressure on Lane.
And Lane's gotten some good looks. They just haven't been able to hit their shots in these last few possessions. And there's going to be a foul called against the Penguins. We'll see who it's on. We're going to say it's on Bo Sweat. Junior Legge checks into the game once again. And he'll grab the inbound.
And symbolic of the score, it's been a pretty evenly played game for the most part. When you look at the statistical categories, we'll give it a rundown once we get to half. The Clark's doing a good job. They've really fought hard in this first half to stay in the game.
Blackmore down low. What a pass to Jacob Labounty. And a very nice shot in the post. 45-38. About 2 seconds separating the shot clock and the game clock. Moore Jr. at the top of the key. They're going to try to milk this clock as much as they can.
It's about a second and a half difference, maybe 2 seconds.
You don't want to let Lane have another shot before the end of the half. Bayer looking, kicks over to Bonneguam, now back to Bayer. Bayer driving in against Legge, kicks it out to Bo Sweat in the corner. That one, no good. And they're going to call a foul.
Over the back, I believe.
Over the back.
Or a shot clock violation, one or the other.
So it's a little, just over a second. There's Blackmore, grabs the inbound, full court pass.
Wow!
Only threw it with one hand. Somehow it hit the rim.
A little 30-yard touchdown heave he was going for right there.
Oregon football might have to look at him for quarterback next season. But after one half, Lane leads 45 to Clark 38. Clark, they've really kind of started a little bit of a comeback though, but Lane, they're sharing the ball. A lot of different guys have 8 points. Javon Blackmore, 8 points. Michael Garrett, 8 points. Even Isaiah Wallace, too, with 8 points. They're really spreading the ball well.
Yeah, absolutely, and shooting 58% from the field. So good shooting performance in the first half for Lane, but Clark's right there as well. They're shooting 53% from the field and 50% from downtown. Lane's taken 19 threes in just one half, but converting on 42% of them. So not bad. Go ahead and continue pulling the trigger from downtown if you're the Titans. And turnovers, kind of a little tamed in the first half. Still 7 for Clark and 5 for Lane. Still a little cleaning up to do, but not terrible. Lane just a good first half of basketball with Clark's right there with them.
Yeah, I mean, Clark, they're staying in distance with them. And I think the bigger thing, too, for Lane has been the points off turnovers, 10 points off turnovers. Clark committed 7. It's not really a lot, but when Lane takes advantage of it, that becomes key. Two teams that are coming off losses and are trying to bounce back. Who's going to do it? We'll find out. Second half action coming away after this break on the Lane Streaming Network. 15 minutes went by just like that, and we're about ready to get the second half underway. Saul Gavon alongside Jonah Berneau as Lane leads 45-38 over the Clark Penguins in what was a pretty exciting first half. A lot of scoring for sure, but also some pretty good defense. Jonah, what do you expect out of both teams here in the second half?
Well, I'm interested, as for Lane, to see who becomes the key scorer here in the second half. 3 players with 8 points after one half for Lane. It's Blackmore, Garrett, and Wallace. Silas Wright and Junior Ledger and Jacob Labonte right there with
Pretty
6
much
as well. So
pretty much everyone who's played has scored except for Izzy Golden.
absolutely.
I mean, yeah, like that's how good they're spinning the ball.
we'll see if that continues in this half or if one of those players can really start to shine and take over.
Blackmore, Wright, Labonte, Axemaker, and Garrett are the 5 out there for Lane to start this second half. There's Axemaker getting the screen, trying to find someone inside. Instead, going to swing it over to Labonte. Now Micah Garrett going to pull up from the jumper. Yes, he is so good with that mid-range jumper.
He's usually a reliable bet to take when you're asking the question of who's going to step up and shine bright in the second half. Micah Garrett usually answers the bell.
There's Moore Jr. Now Keenan Coleman gets down low to Phillips, and Phillips not able to get. He was running to the basket. Pass got broken up, but Blackmore able to get it back. Here's a 3 from Axemaker. That one goes. So 5 quick points out of the break from Lane.
Jacob Axemaker, such a good shooter. What he specializes in. And I caught nothing but net.
Now Phillips handing off to Coleman, driving inside against Labonte. A little spin move, trying to get a shot on, and he does. Gets it to go in and draws the foul. Goes to the line for a chance at a 3-point play.
Gets to the end one. Clark had a couple of those in the first half. And going to answer the 3 from Axemaker with a potential 3-point play here from Coleman.
Yeah, both teams haven't really gone to the free throw line too much. Clark only 3 of 5 from free throw range. Misses that one. It's now 3 of 6. Lane only 1 of 2. They only took 1 trip to the free throw line the entire first half. Here's Axemaker down to Labonte, down to Silas Wright. Going to hand off Axemaker once again, same spot. That one no good. Tipped into the hands of Keegan Phillips for the rebound. Bayer pushing it ahead for the Penguins. Drives inside against Wright. Now kicks out to Moore Jr. all alone. Yes! Terrell Moore Jr. knocks down the 3-pointer to cut the deficit to 7.
Yeah, Lane got off to a nice start to begin the half, but Clark answers with a couple back-to-back shots made on back-to-back possessions, back to a 7-point game.
Labonte again double team, kicks it to Silas Wright, and he had a clear path for, looked like he was trying to go for a dunk, but it got blocked out of his hands. Draw the foul. He'll go to the line and shoot for 2.
It's going to be an inbound pass, I believe, non-shooting foul.
Oh, it was actually, yeah, it was non-shooting, so Blackmore to inbound. They'll get out to Axemaker. Now Garrett on the perimeter. Axemaker, deep 3. That one doesn't go. Had a pretty good look from our point of view, but misses off the side of the rim.
I mentioned earlier he's not afraid to take a 3 from anywhere, but that time a little too deep and a little too contested.
Debo Guam hits the 3-point. Clark all of a sudden. Lane scored 5 quick points after halftime, and then Clark storming back a little bit as
yeah, absolutely.
We're going to get a stoppage of play here. Looks like Coleman got hit in the face, but he's all right. Running down the other side of the court.
Pair of 3s and back-to-back possessions, and when that happens and you shut out the opposing team on the other end of the court, shrinks that lead real quickly, and all of a sudden it's a 4-point advantage for Lane.
Garrett driving into the baseline, misses that one, was looking for the foul, but didn't get the whistle. Here's Coleman, 3-point attempt. That one falls in. 3 straight 3s for the Penguins. And head coach Edwards for Lane takes the timeout as Clark only trails by 1. Wow, what a run.
It's an 11-0 run for Clark right there, and right now it's a 1-point game, the smallest margin it's been since early in the first half. So big answer from the Penguins. Lane came out strong to start the half in the first 30 seconds, but Clark playing some good defense, shutting out Lane in the last couple possessions and capitalizing with that with multiple 3s.
Yeah, they're hitting the 3s now. 6 of 9 from beyond the arc, 20 of 35 from the field. We talked about, who's going to be the shooter for Lane if they can get someone going. Micah Garrett leads the way with 10 points, but right now it's still up in the air as to who that guy is going to be. Could see Isaiah Wallace or maybe even Silas Wright, too, jumping into that role. Keenan Coleman has been the bright spot for Clark so far, but also Terrell Moore Jr. with 13 points, 2 of 2 from beyond the arc. So you may look to him if you are the Penguins.
Yeah, and the rebound game is pretty even at this point. Lane with 18 to the Clark's 15. Clark's done a good job. Even though they're undersized for the most part, you got LeBounty and Silas Wright with the height advantage over Clark. They've still been able to do a good job maintaining.
And now we'll see a new rotation of guys as Leggy, Wallace, and Golden all check into the game for the Titans. There's Blackmore, bounce pass to Silas Wright. Wright trying to find Wallace, who's cutting inside. Now gets thrown out of the hands by Coleman all alone. Leggy trail him down, and Coleman with a nice soft dunk.
Just like that, Clark has the lead.
Now Clark leads by 1. 17 minutes left in regulation. Isaiah Wallace dishes it to Blackmore. Blackmore over to Izzy Golden. Golden, left wing, no good. Rebounded by Bayer. Bayer up ahead, contested by Blackmore. Blackmore swats it away. And they're going to say it went off a Penguin, so to go to Lane. But really good defense there from Blackmore.
13-0 run right now for Clark.
Yeah, Lane's definitely going to get some shots off. Don't have to start chucking up threes, obviously, like they did in the first half, but create opportunities themselves. There's Blackmore creating one, drives in. He fell to the ground. Moore with the easy rebound. Thought about taking himself. Ibonagwan was down low screaming for the ball. He was wide open. And Moore Jr. didn't see it. Coleman driving in and gets the land. So now a 13-0 run.
Well, I tell you right, everything's falling for Clark and nothing is falling for Lane. It's just one of those, just the swings in the game that naturally happen. And this is one that Lane's got to get out of quickly.
Izzy Golden getting the screen from Leggy. Now over to Blackmore. Not going to hand off to Isaiah Wallace. Will take a three-pointer. That one falls through.
Much needed three. And if you need a three, that's the guy you want to hand it off to, and Isaiah Wallace coming off the bench.
Isaiah Wallace, a perfect 3 of 3 from three-point range tonight. Ties it up at 53. Now Bayer driving in and gets fouled on the way up. 2 shots coming up for Bayer. Leggy is going to pick up his,
I believe it's his first of the game.
It is his first foul of the game. Bayer to the line. Makes his first.
We talked about it before the game, so Lane just continues to find themselves in close battles week after week. And again, another one here. It's seemingly going to come down, maybe not to the, well, maybe it's going to come to the wire, we'll see, but certainly it's going to be a nail biter.
And especially in the last few games, we saw it against Mount Hood. They only won by 2 points. Against Umpqua in that previous home matchup, they lost by 5. Here's a three-point attempt from Leggy. That one goes. Junior Leggy, you're talking about it first half. He's not really a three-point shooter, but he's been on it today.
I mean, Lane's just absolutely letting it fly. 25 attempts from downtown, and Leggy's got 3 of them.
Bonneguam gets it down low to Phillips. That one doesn't go. Wright grabs the board. Wallace will bring it up. Lane trying to bounce back after their loss the last Saturday to Portland. And that one was only by 3 points. And like you said, Jonah, they've been in some close games. We're expecting this one to be a close game, but we'll see if Lane come on top. Izzy Golden in the corner and gets fouled. Got bumped hard by Phillips. And we're going to have a timeout on the floor. Clark coming out of halftime, swinging. Went on a 13-0 run, still down by 1, 56-55 with 14:42 left to play. Rest of the second half coming your way after this break on the Lane Streaming Network. Lane will have possession of the ball coming out of the timeout. Izzy Golden to inbound. Titans lead by 1 with 4:42 left to play. Isaiah Wallace will grab the inbound over to Leggy and then to Micah Garrett. Now back to Leggy. Been a real sharp shooter for this team today, even though he's not really known as a shooter on this team. And now Izzy Golden, Micah Garrett driving in on the baseline, puts one up, looking for the foul, and does get the call. Should go against Ibonagwam. A little too much contact as Garrett was going up.
Yeah, good take by Garrett there and being able to draw the foul. Good free throw shooter here. Good chance at adding 2.
Garrett makes his first free throw, one of the top free throw shooters on this team. Lane hasn't been to the line too much today. Only one previous trip. Garrett able to connect on both those free throws. Here's Bear getting the screen from Phillips. Now the switch, he's on right. Ibonagwam in the corner looking down low for Phillips. A little bit of a mismatch and a foul against Izzy Golden.
A little aggressive over the back, I believe, on that call.
Kind of a good thing, though, that happened because he was matched up with Phillips and the height difference would have played a big role, especially in the post. A little softer pass out to Phillips on the inbound. Now Coleman. Coleman driving in, got tipped away. He was able to keep it. Wright grabs the missed shot. Wallace moving the ball up for Lane. Thought about taking the 3. Izzy Golden, right wing. Now Wallace waiting for the screen. He does get it. Switch. Micah Garrett inside, pulls up. That one no good. Ibonagwam grabs the missed shot.
The shot that Garrett normally makes, just a little strong.
Bayer working inside, misses that one. Leggy able to haul it in.
Coach Edwards wanting to slow it down a little bit here.
Isaiah Wallace trying to set something up. Working on Moore Jr. Now gets over to Micah Garrett. Now Leggy, another 3-point attempt. That one falls. How about Junior Leggy? His 4th made 3-pointer in this game, up to 12 points on the night. He's been on fire. And there's a basket for the Penguins. Terrell Moore Jr. able to answer the 3-pointer from Leggy.
Get a floor timeout again.
So Lane missed a couple shots, and now they're starting to hit him. Junior Leggy would have been probably the last guy that you and I would have thought about to be that guy who can score easily, but he's up to 12 points right now, tied with Micah Garrett.
Well, I mean, you got to give him credit, and he's played really well, and he's had a good second half of the year. Like we mentioned earlier, he's gotten increasingly better as the season's gone on. So it's not that surprising as you'd think earlier in the year, but it's great to see him performing in the way he is from downtown. 4 threes to his name today. But each time, Clark's had an answer on the other end. Every time Lane seems to get something going, Clark's able to halt that momentum, and that's what's kept it a close game.
That's what's kept them close, and especially the run that Clark made to start the second half has really helped out. Only trail by 4, less than 13 minutes left to play. Silas right in the post, cuts it back inside to Isaiah Wallace. Wallace was looking for the foul, doesn't get it. Moore Jr. grabs the board, trying to go coast to coast with it, and it gets blocked by Leggy. He'll stay on that side with the Penguins.
Good job by Leggy. And, you know, we talk about LeBounty and Silas Wright with their height advantage inside over Clark today, but Junior Leggy has a tall wingspan, and so when he gets his arms up, it's hard to drive inside on Leggy.
Phillips against Wright, and they're going to call an offensive foul. Yep, he pushed off. Nice job there by Wright to kind of exaggerate it. I think that's kind of what you have to do as a defender if you want to get that call, is you kind of have to exaggerate the push a little bit.
It's like the happy medium of flopping, right?
There you go, right there. Don't want to fall down.
There's a technique to it nowadays.
Isaiah Wallace working on Moore Jr. Now hands off to Micah Garrett. Garrett working around the screen. Over in the corner, Leggy. Now top of the key, Garrett. Trying to find Wright, who was cutting inside, but it gets stolen away by Bear. Bounce pass ahead to Moore Jr., and Leggy steals it away, gets ahead to Micah Garrett all alone, and he'll lay it in. Really nice defense right there from Leggy. And now here the Penguins pushing away. Bonneguam gets the easy lay-in.
I mean, Clark, I'm telling you, they just come right back down the court quickly and just able to keep up with Lane.
Now Clark's really taking care of the turnovers from Lane. 9 points off turnovers, and it looks like we're going to get a double dribble call against Lane.
Kind of a mental lapse by Izzy Golden there. He's going to check off.
Izzy Golden, Micah Garrett off the floor. Axemaker and Blackmore back on. Moore Jr. on the far corner. Now here's Bear from the point. No good. Leggy there to haul it in. Blackmore to bring it up.
And again, Coach Edwards trying to emphasize, slow it down, draw it up. Blackmore, starting point guard back on the floor.
He wants his team to get good shots. Here's one from Isaiah Wallace that goes in.
Just a shooting frenzy tonight.
And now
here's another one.
Three-point attempt from Coleman. Answers. So these teams have just been going back and forth in this second half.
Throwing daggers at each other.
It's a perfect way to describe it, Jonah. Daggers between each other. Anytime Lane does something, Clark's right there to answer. They're only down by 4. 66-62 with 10:45 left to play. Blackmore inside against Coleman. Outside, Leggy, three-pointer. That one no good, off the front of the rim. Phillips keeps it in, and they're going to say that it went off of Coleman as he was trying to go for the board.
I think he dribbled it, and it landed on the baseline, and so, of course, that's going to be the out-of-bounds call.
Wow, what a sequence of plays, though. Isaiah Wallace hits a three here, and then Coleman on the other side.
Being treated
and not even that. It just happened so quickly within 5 seconds of Wallace making his own three.
Jacob LeBounty back into the game for Lane.
Here's Axemaker, a three-point attempt. That one no good. Coleman grabs the miss. He's pushing up ahead. Now Bonneguam at the top of the key. In the corner, Bayer against Leggy. Coleman thought about a three-pointer, going to take it himself. A little Euro step inside. Leggy grabs the board. Blackmore pushing it ahead. Axemaker in the corner, thought about. Here's an open from Isaiah Wallace, and he misses that. A rare miss for Wallace, his first miss of the night, actually. And Moore Jr. up ahead to cut it within 2.
Just seems like it's getting to a point now. Whoever's going to shoot the ball better from downtown could be the one to come out on top tonight.
Blackmore at the top of the key, waiting for something set up. Downloaded LeBounty, and it didn't really look like a miscommunication, just a bad pass from Blackmore.
A little too strong, I think, on the pass for LeBounty to handle.
LeBounty would have been right there and would have had no one in his sight for the basket. And a timeout on the floor after the turnover by Lane. 66-64, 9:37 left to play. Got the rest of the action coming up to you after this break on the Lane Streaming Network. Clark to have possession out of the timeout after the turnover by Lane. Penguins trail by 2 with 9:37 left to play. And what has been a pretty back and forth matchup between both teams, especially in the second half. Feels like Lane does something and Clark is right there to answer. And we're going to have a foul out of the break. It'll be against Jacob Axmaker. Phillips to inbound, gets it to Ibanaguam. And now here's Phillips from the free throw line and working against Axmaker. A little bit of a mismatch. He puts up a shot, no good. Blackmore grabs the ball in the air. So athletic, able to get the missed shot. Now Blackmore, bounce pass to LaBounty. He finds Axmaker. Axmaker, 3. That one falls. Jacob Axmaker continues the hot shooting for Lane and extends the lead to 5.
And no reason to shy away from the 3 ball because Lane's been shooting the ball really well from downtown today. And again, let's see if Clark can answer again.
Here's Coleman. He's been the sharpshooter for Clark in this one. He puts up a floater. That one no good. Garrett grabs the board. Coleman 4 or 5 from beyond the arc tonight. Now here's Blackmore. Dishes it inside to LaBounty. LaBounty's not able to get that one to go.
That's a big inside. You got to have that.
Here's Coleman outside to Ibanaguam. Ibanaguam drives inside, and what a move. Had no problem. Got around a few Titan defenders and able to get 2 points.
Showing off the athleticism.
Blackmore, top of the key. Axmaker thought about it, had an open look, but Bear came out of nowhere and took it away. Now Blackmore driving inside, kicks it out to Isaiah Wallace. Micah Garrett, top of the key. That's good. It's just raining threes all around for both teams, but more for Lane.
I mean, well over half of Lane's total field goals in this game have come from downtown.
And
Field
now
goal attempts, that is.
they're going to call a travel against Bear, who's driving inside, so it'll be a turnover for the Penguins.
52 shot attempts total by the Titans in this game. 32 of them coming from beyond the arc.
And they've been hitting them for sure. 46% from beyond the arc, 51% overall from the field. The Bounty takes a seat right into the game. Izzy Golden on the far wing. Now over to Axmaker and then Blackmore. Blackmore gets a screen. Now Micah Garrett, another 3-point attempt. That one no good. Phillips grabs the missed board. Up ahead, Ibanaguam, nice pass from Bear, and Ibanaguam gets fouled on the way up. He'll go shoot for 2.
I don't know how he saw Ibanaguam down there, how he got that pass off, but it worked out, and they're going to get to shoot 2 from it. I think this is the most entertaining game we've gotten to call together, Saul.
I mean, it definitely has, at least shooting-wise.
Just back and forth.
There's been some pretty close games in these last couple weeks, especially at home.
You mentioned it, Keenan Coleman leading the way, 19 points. Ibanaguam gets 17 with those 2 free throws now to his name.
It's really been the same for both teams where they're spreading the ball well. They got 3 different guys in double digits in points on both sides. We said it earlier, these 2 teams match up very well, kind of middle to bottom of the conference, and they still have a lot to play for. Lane trying to get up in the standings as Blackmore drives in. They're going to say that Sweat, who just checks into the game, touched it last. .649 left in regulation. Both teams coming off losses and trying to bounce back. Here's a deep 3 from Axmaker, no good. Hit inside the rim, Bear grabs the board, puts it up ahead against right, now dishes it down low to Phillips for the easy 2 points.
Yeah, it was a late decision to hand it off to Phillips on the way up, but a good decision than that because it created space for Phillips and an easy lay-in.
Now Wright trying to look for someone. Finds Javon Blackmore. Blackmore working against Phillips. Now over to Garrett. Garrett pulling up. Baseline jumper for Wright. That one off the side iron. And it gets taken away. Izzy Golden, three-point attempt. Yes!
Bonagwan went down hard. Here comes a...
And here's Phillips on the other end. Slams it home.
What a heave down to Phillips.
Seemed like Lane wasn't ready. They were already heading down the court, and then once Izzy Golden took the shot, they came back, and they weren't expecting Phillips to get down there so quickly.
And good to see Bonagwan get back up. Looked like he got hit in the arm or something, but he's back up and still in the game.
Just a three-point difference between both these teams. Here's a three-pointer from Golden. He hits that one. Unbelievable shooting from Lane. Izzy Golden, back-to-back three-pointers.
At least being live at a game, I don't know if I've ever seen this many three attempts, and with that, how well Lane's shooting the ball from three.
Lane's averaging 83 points a game this season. They're already at 78, and you still got 5 minutes left to play. And only up by 6. You can expect more out of them. Blackmore inside, outside to Micah Garrett. Micah Garrett going to pull a mid-range jumper. No good. Silas Wright grabs the board. And they're going to call a push-off against Wright as he was going for the rebound. Timeout on the floor. Lane 78, Clark 72. This one going to come down the wire. 4:55 left to play. The rest of it coming your way on the other side of this break on the Lane Streaming Network. .455 left to play in regulation. Lane up by 6 over the Penguins, and Bear is going to get a solo free throw here. I'm not sure.
They must change it to a technical.
Might have been a technical. Because he will get 2 free throws here. I'm not sure who the technical foul went against.
Let's see if we can get confirmation on it. Technical foul on Silas Wright.
It was a foul on Wright.
So they must have, I don't know if he said something after he was originally called for a normal foul and it got upgraded to a tech.
We kind of seen that a few times this season. Silas Wright, he's gotten himself into a bit of trouble saying something, and here is Phillips inside.
That becomes a 4-point play for Clark as a result.
A costly mistake there by Lane. And Wright pays for it. He's on the bench now. Now Micah Garrett swinging it around to Blackmore. Gets a screen from LeBounty. Switch. He drives in, and it gets tipped off by Coleman, but we're going to say that Blackmore touched it last. So a turnover for Lane. Clark has no opportunity to tie or take the lead.
And while Lane's shooting the ball really well from downtown, and that's clearly been the motto of this game, they got to establish some sort of paint inside presence with Jacob LeBounty. You combine LeBounty and Silas Wright, they both have 6 points apiece. But with their height advantage, you would think that they could be able to dominate inside.
Phillips in the low post, able to get the spin around shot to go. And now we're tied at 78 apiece.
I mean, if they can start driving to the rack and try and find a way to get it to LeBounty inside and let him go to work.
Titans working on the perimeter. Passing around, trying to find a good look. Blackmore inside. He picks up the foul and will go to the line and shoot for 2.
And I say that, and they've tried. They've got a couple back-cutting passes to the right and LeBounty, but a couple times we've seen it. It's resulted in turnovers, either a bad pass or a mishandled pass. Hasn't been well executed today, but the three's been able to make up for it.
It's Blackmore's first trip to the line tonight. He misses the first free throw. Free throws are going to become critical down the stretch as Blackmore makes the second one. You know, towards the end of the game, a lot of teams start fouling.
But 1-point game, that fouling game, no reason for it to start when it's this close of a margin.
There's Bear making a few moves and swings it over to Sweat. Now it's Phillips down low against Michael Garrett. Little post up and puts it in. Phillips has been so good in the paint tonight, and he puts Clark ahead by 1.
Yeah, just like that. They're in the lead now, and once again, Lane in another trench battle.
Izzy Golden, deep three-er. That one no good. Sweat gonna let it go out of bounds. It'll go to the Penguins, but like you were saying, Jonah, another close battle. It's gonna come down to the wire.
And right here, as Junior Ledgey's going to check back in along with Silas, right. This possession right here on the inbound from Clark is going to play a huge pivotal role, and I think in the momentum for the rest of the game. Because if they're able to add on to the lead and potentially, if they get a 3, make it a 2-possession game, it's a heavy, heavy momentum shift in favor of Clark. And we've seen Lane struggle late in games this year.
Phillips
shooting
in the low post, kicks it out to Coleman. Coleman doesn't get that one to go, but they're going to call a foul on Ledgey. So I think 3 free throws are coming up for Coleman.
Yep, absolutely. And I was saying, Lane has really struggled shooting the ball when it comes down to the final 2.5 minutes or so of games this season. We saw it earlier this year against Chemeketa.
And so Clark is in the bonus, so the missed free throw there from Coleman. Lucky break for Lane. Let's see if they can capitalize. Wallace working around a few of his teammates now. Dumps it off to Blackmore. Junior Ledgey. He's been hot in this game, especially from beyond the arc. Now here's Blackmore driving inside and able to get the and 1. A huge play from Javon Blackmore to put Lane ahead by 1, potentially 2, pending the free throw.
Yeah, absolutely huge bucket from Blackmore, and to be able to get the and 1 here.
And I mean, you figure down the stretch, that's more of what we're going to see for both sides. Not really so much shooting, unless it's a wide open look, but driving inside and trying to pick up the foul. It's worth knowing that Clark is in the bonus now, as Isaiah Wallace puts up the shots. Now it's a 3-point Lane lead. As I was saying, Clark is in the bonus, so any foul that Lane commits from now on, Clark goes to the free throw line, which could be critical. Now Coleman on the outside, he is out of bounds. He was right there, clear as day. A costly turnover for Clark.
Yeah, it's a couple times Coleman has been accused of being on that sideline trying to shoot a 3 and just losing where he is on the court. So now Lane,
this could be a
now
key
the momentum's
possession
in there. Yeah, now it's back in their hands. Pivotal possession for Lane here.
Less than 2 minutes to play. Lane up by 3. And they're going to call an offensive foul, so
Right.
it's going to be on Silas Wright. He had that technical foul that kind of sparked a little momentum in Clark.
And Coach Edwards wastes no time. He takes right out and puts LeBounty back in.
Yeah, Wright's made a few mistakes that have cost his team, and now Lane had an opportunity to capitalize on the mistake by Clark, but then they make their own mistake and give it back to the Penguins.
Junior Ledgey back into the game as well for Lane.
A lot of shooters out on the floor. We'll see if Axemaker gets on as well. Now Bear driving inside.
Good
Gets
defense
stolen
by
away by Jacob Labonte. Very good defense down low in the post.
Huge defensive play by Labonte. And if Lane can get a bucket here, it'll make it a 2-possession game.
Micah Garrett dumps it off to Isaiah Wallace. Now Blackmore, top of the key.
Trying to wind some clock.
Blackmore just past midcourt. Now drive himself. We'll see if he takes it. Down low. Alley-oop attempt, but that one's no good. Labonte is on the ground.
5 on 4.
He gets up. It's a 5-on-4. He's got to hurry up. Coleman working in the post.
He's back now. It's full strength.
Now Ibonagwam. Bounce pass down low to Phillips, and they're going to call a foul against Blackmore to stop the momentum. But, man, what a play that would have been. Labonte went up with it, and I think he got –
he was met at the rim, and I believe it got deflected away.
he was on the ground for a few seconds, did get up, and he's holding that left knee.
Yeah, he hit the ground hard, and a big stop for Clark to be able to keep that alley-oop from going in, and now chance to add 2 here.
So a missed free throw there from Phillips, and Leggy will come off. Axemaker will come on. .49 seconds on the game clock. Phillips able to go that one in. That one took a few bounces in and out.
All right, if you're Clark here, you don't have to foul.
Don't
play it out here.
Don't have to foul.
Try and play good defense on Lane.
Clark only up by 2, and a timeout taken by Coach Edwards. Expected that one to come. 40 seconds left. We're going to keep it right here on the Lane Streaming Network. But, Jonah, this game has delivered so much, and now it's come down to the wire.
Yeah, it's fitting. It's going to come down to the wire. It's been a back-and-forth battle all game long, especially here in the second half. 40 seconds on the clock. You got 21 seconds on the shot clock here for Lane on this possession. So if you're Clark, strategy stays the same as we were just saying. No, absolutely no need to foul here. It's still a one-possession game. You got to get a stop, though. Got to get a stop. You can try and get a turnover here, but no reason to foul.
I mean, what does Lane do? They try to draw up something. They try to drive in and go.
I think you try and drive. I think you try and drive in, and yeah, you can try and draw a foul inside. Go to the free throw line. No need. If you take a 3, I know they've been shooting the ball well, but do not take. They got to wind some clock here at the very least. And I think driving to the rim would be ideal.
A lot of options for this Lane team. Last possession of the ball.
And a guy you would drive, Labonte, you're big. Going to be inbounding the ball.
Labonte to inbound. He gets out to Blackmore. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Got to be careful there. He almost stepped on the midcourt line. Would have been a backcourt violation. Now Blackmore, left wing, gets a screen from Labonte. Blackmore driving inside. Isaiah Wallace hands off. Axemaker, 3-point.
Oh!
Jacob Axemaker with a clutch 3-pointer to put Lane ahead. Shot clock is turned off. Moore Jr. going quick, spins around. Not able to get that one to go. Blackmore grabs the rebound. And now gives it off to Axemaker. He gets wrapped around and gets fouled. Wow, what a clutch 3-pointer from Jacob Axemaker.
That is the dagger. I mean, that's likely going to put this game away. If they can inbound it here, Clark will foul.
He's taken 11 3-point attempts tonight. He's only made 4, including that one. But it comes up at the right time. Labonte to inbound.
Got to get this in here.
Gets it to Micah Garrett, and Micah Garrett's going to get fouled. He knew that one was coming. But just what a shot by Jacob Axemaker. We talked about that they were going to try to drive in, and I think they were looking for something down low in the post, but Clark just took that away, and Axemaker, such a good 3-point shooter, comes up right when his team needs them.
Labonte had on the pick and roll. He was trying to cut inside, and Clark had it well defended. And Axemaker, with about a second and a half left on the shot clock, put that 3 up and got it to go.
Garrett makes the first free throw, and that ultimately puts this one out. Obviously, you assume that Clark takes a timeout and tries to go quick, but
2-possession game right now.
Now it's a 3-possession game, so yeah.
It's a big miracle here.
Ibonagwam to inbound. Moore Jr. going to try to push it up court. 5 seconds on the clock. Here's Coleman with a 3-point attempt. Going to hit that one, so a quick timeout taken by Clark, but still down by 4 points with 3 seconds. Kind of a tough thing to do. I mean, all you can pray for, and
And
So
what they need, immediate turnover on the inbound and put it back
Exactly.
up.
That to be a turnover, quick basket, another turnover, quick basket. So if Lane can just inbound,
It's got to, if they're able to finish it out for Lane here, which you would think they should be able to. It's got to feel good. They're going to be able, if they're going to be able to get this win in one of these nail-biting games that more times than not they've come out on the losing end of this year.
yeah, I mean, there's been so many games where it's been 1, 2 point, 3 point differences, and Lane's been close. They've shot the ball well. They played really good in those games, but they just haven't been able to win. Like you said, they'll be able to come out of this one with a nail biter, especially down the stretch, and come out with a victory. It'll do a lot. These are the games that, do a lot for a team's confidence over the bigger margin victories,
Right.
especially against Clark. Even though they're bottom of the conference, it's still a very tough team, as we've seen today.
Come out here, Clark. Just try and put clamps on everybody dressed in white. Even if you draw a foul, it doesn't really matter at this point.
Bounty inbounds to Axemaker, 1.8 seconds on the clock, so
That'll-
Axemaker will go to the free throw line. It'll be kind of fitting that Axemaker gets the last opportunity to score for the Titans.
Yeah,
Hit the critical three not too long ago.
that'll do it. They just needed it. As long as they inbounded it safely, that was going to be it. So Lane's going to come away with the victory tonight. What a game.
What a game indeed. Missed free throw there. Ibanaguam grabs the rebound. Moore Jr. going to chuck it up. No good. Lane wins a nail biter. The men and women's team complete the home sweep and just pure dominance on both sides. But Lane, ultimately the better team. Unbelievable from outside the arc. 38 three-point attempts. They made 18 of those. Wow, just what a game all around.
Well, it's absolutely fitting that the game sealer was the Jacob Axemaker 3 there to put Lane up 86-81, and just an incredible performance from beyond the arc. And Clark, they shot 61% themselves from downtown, but they only took 13 shots from there versus Lane's 38 attempts from three-point land.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the best shooting performance that we've seen out of Lane. They just have full control from beyond the arc and really control the paint as well. They didn't take too many shots from inside the paint, but when they did, they made it count. And the defense, too. They gave up 84 points to Clark, but there were times when they stopped the momentum from the Penguins getting more and more momentum. They stopped the runs from happening, and ultimately that's the reason that they won this game.
Absolutely. So that was a fun one to call. I think that was the most joyful one we've gotten this year for sure.
That was a fun one indeed. Lane will move to 11-14 on the year, 6-7 in conference play, while Clark drops to 7-17 on the year and 3-9 in conference play. Lane going to hit the road for the first of the final 3 games against Chemeketa on Wednesday, while Clark will head back for a matchup against Lynn Benton on their home turf. And with that, that will do for us tonight. Alongside Jonah Bruneau, I'm Saul Gavon saying so long here from Lane Community College.